Hi everyone, and welcome to join me here together with XMReality CEO Jörgen Remmelg in our discussion about XMReality's Q2 2021 interim report. And today's date is August 12th.
Good morning everyone.
So Jörgen, what do you think about the report?
Well, I had expected more in terms of financial terms, obviously. I think on the positive side, we see a lot of customers signing global framework agreements with us. And we also see significantly large customers signing agreements over a longer term with us. That is good. On the negative side, obviously, I had expected more on the order intake side. Okay, that affects the net sales obviously as well. In the order intake, there is a positive term or element in the number of pilots being signed. So there are quite some pilots and quite some good customers, I think, in that group of pilots that will hopefully in the future generate net sales and annual recurring revenues. Negative is, of course, also our biggest customer, the world's biggest food producer, scaling down their use. So we have a contraction which is significant this time, and that affects the annual recurring revenues negatively.
Mm-hmm. So why is the order intake below your expectations?
Well, I think we haven't lost anything. Check in the box, good. But I think we see a lack of urgency to finalize the contracts from the customer base or the potential customers. Why is that? Well, I guess as the pandemic is tapering down, the production are ramping up almost everywhere. So I think this is somewhat of a pain to go through on the customer side. In our case, to sign the contract, we need access to IT and to legal, and that again is not as swift as during the pandemic. So that itself is obviously slowing down the flow of order intake at the moment. Hopefully we will see an increased urgency once we're over this and we're entering the next phase, or the market is entering the next phase post the pandemic.
Yeah. We also see that some of our larger customers commit to longer agreements. How does this impact XMReality?
Well, it's good for us because it increases our efficiency. It creates or frees time for the enterprise sales people to actually focus on new deals and new customers. And it also increases the stickiness. I mean, we have companies here now committing to not only a standard subscription contract, but also committing to volume for 2 and even 3 years, which I think is a very good sign.
Yeah. We can also see that one of our larger customers signed a global framework agreement with us, Danone. Can you explain the importance of a global framework agreement?
Well, a global framework agreement is an agreement that can be used by any site or any legal entity or any business unit inside a global company and just send us a purchase order. So everything is set, pricing is set, terms and conditions are set. So it helps the implementation in a global organization, and it also helps us and gives us the possibility to discuss and work with each business unit as needed to market, sell the product, and also create a good implementation. So I think with Danone, it's one of the top largest food and beverage industries in the world. It's a very important agreement, an agreement that sets the tone for a future collaboration and gives us significant opportunities.
And as you briefly mentioned before, one of our larger customers decided to scale down the number of licenses with us. Can you talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah, that's obviously unfortunate. They came on board spring last year and fairly rapidly scaled up and increased the number of licenses significantly. When we now, actually end of June, review here, we note that quite some of those licenses are unassigned in the company. And then the decision was to terminate those licenses that were not assigned. resulting in a contraction for us. We're now jointly working together with their team and have access to, again, to local entities, sites, business units, and legal entities, in order for us to find a way to scale up going forward with that customer. So hopefully we'll see some of those lost licenses or the contraction coming back as upsales going forward, but again, time will tell.
We have also started to collect customer feedback in the app. Can you tell us a little bit more about this and some of the key takeaways? Yeah,
so that's it. Normally when you do a customer survey, you send an email quiz to the buyer and try to distribute that into the user group and the organization. With the app now, we access the users directly, which I think is very important because that's the persons that actually are using the product on a daily basis. So first time we distribute that quiz through the app, and results come out good, right? Yeah. In general, we get the 4 out of a 5-point scale on essentially everything regarding the product, the service, the support. So I think it's good news.
Yeah, that's really good. And with that, we would like to thank you for tuning in, and we hope we see you again next interim report.
Yeah, thank you, and see you soon.